Hi everybody, thank you so much for your time. Today we are going to talk about automations on Studio One Prime. Yes, automations, you have heard this correctly. It's pretty amazing that Presonus actually made it available even for the free version Studio One Prime. Now for those of you who are looking to download Studio One Prime, unfortunately, after they have launched Studio One 7, they no longer or they have discontinued Studio One Prime. So now, if you want to use it, you have to subscribe to it. But I still find that it is pretty affordable. Every month is about $20 USD. Or Sing dollar to I think about 25 Sing dollar. It's still very affordable. Now, so for those of you who have previously downloaded or managed to download Presonus Studio One Prime, you can still continue to use it, just like what I do. Okay, so I'm running a Studio One Prime, so don't worry if you previously have downloaded, you can continue to use it. All right, back to the automation topic. Now, before we go into the actions, let me explain a little bit about automation, right? So automation in Studio One Prime is to control the changes or the parameters without manually adjusting the setting during your playback. So you can actually automate things like volume, panning, or certain effects later I'm going to show you, so that it automatically make changes for a specific point in your song. So for example, you can gradually increase or decrease the volume of your track, or you can actually do a low cut filter for your instrument. So we're gonna look into all this in just a second. All right, now let's get started. Now, to turn on your automation is kind of tricky, right? So you find there are a few ways. So what you are seeing over here is a track that I have created. It's actually a cover song, but I'm not gonna do I'm not going to use the voice because then later on it's gonna be flagged with copyright. So I'm just gonna play you the -1 track and have a listen. Okay, now what we are trying to do, I'm going to show you how to automate, let's say a piano, right? So I can automate, just now I shared with you the basic one. We automate volumes, we automate panning, we can also automate some effects. So now let me show you how to turn on your automations. So let's say, for example, I want to automate this felt piano. I can just solo it. Okay, so this is the felt piano. I want to automate the volume, say for example. So how do I do it? I can go here at the top left. You can see a waveform. Okay, let me zoom that in for you. Okay, so do you see this? Right, so when you click on this, it opens and it actually expands your envelope, right? So you will see volume, you will see pan left and right. Later I'm going to show you how to add in more automation. So that's one way. The other way is, let me zoom out. The other way is to do it from your mixer. So when you open your mixer tab, which is at the bottom right over here, so you just need to select the mixer tab, it will show up, right? So over here you will have the auto just right on top of your channel strip. Okay, let me zoom in for you. So you see from here, I will have the felt piano. On top of the felt piano, there is this auto off. Okay, so this is automation and it's turned off currently. So when you take a look at here, you will have read, touch, latch, write, different things. But for Prime, I'm not going to go into that. But what I wanted to show you is over here, there is this add or remove parameters. So click on it. Then you will see the automation tab. Let me zoom out so that you can see. Okay, so this is felt piano, and I have two sides of it, right? So the right side is basically what you have with your channel strip. The left side is the automation effect that you want to use. So what do I mean by that? So let's say, for example, if you see from here, I have a channel strip over. I also have some, I don't have send actually, because it's already kind of having the reverb effect. So I don't need to send another reverb effect. But if you want to, of course, it will appear. Okay, and it should appear. Now, over here, if you look at it, when I click a drop down on the insert, I have quite a few of things that I can actually automate. So in this case, what I wanted to automate is the low cut. Okay, so just bring it over by click on add, then it goes over here. So what it means is that when I activate this low cut at certain point of the song, it will actually perform this action automatically. Same goes to pan and the volume. Okay, so let me close this and we'll take a closer look at it. Close the mixer track and let me zoom out. So let's go to the pan over here. So this is a felt piano. Now let's try to do the automations on the volume first. So now what you are seeing over here, the volume is minus 13.7 dB. So let's say for at certain point, okay, so let's say example. So this is actually a chorus part. So in the beginning, let's say there's certain part I want to lower the volume. I can do it by simply click on it. Let's say this point is the point that I want to start the automation. I can click on the volume. You will see there's a dot over here. Now, and I can actually click on the other one. So it depends what is the automations that you are looking at. So in this case, let's say for example over here, I want to lower the volume. I can actually do that by just dragging down, okay, or going up. So in this case, both are adjusting the automations for the volume. In this case, it's a graduating going down and then coming up. Okay, now let me play for you to listen. So you can see the moment that my cursor goes through here, the volume goes down and it picks up again afterwards. You can hover over, you will see another dot here. You can actually change the curve. So in this case, it's a sudden down and sudden up. So this is volume automation. I can double click and it will take out the automation. I can also do pan. So example, I can pan to the left or I can pan to the right. So for example, I can click on this and I want, so if you hover over, now it's center. I can do a left pan on the top and then quickly go down and then come back to the center. So let me play back. So you need to listen from your headphone, okay? Don't listen from your computer or the small speaker. You won't be able to tell the difference. Let me play it back one more time. So this is pan. Pan to the left and then pan to the right and then back to center. Now, let me just double click one more time to cancel the automation. I wanted to show you this low cut. So this is interesting because, for example, in the chorus, when my bass comes in, I want to reduce the low cut from the piano so that I don't compete with my bass. So in this case, let me play for you. Okay, so in this case, it's not so bad because it doesn't really compete with each other. But let's just, for example, I want to start the low cut the moment the bass comes in. Okay, so how do I do it? Very simple. I click on the part where I want to start the low cut. Okay, and then I can just do the low cut over here, and I can do it. Okay, so I can activate it, started, then before that is 0. Okay, so let's play for you without the bass. So how do I determine how much to cut? Let me show you. So let me turn on the channel strip. So over here at the channel strip, you can see that my low cut frequency currently is turned on, and I turn it off. So the low cut frequency is somewhere around 70.5 Hertz. So to exaggerate this, let me just increase it into, let's say, 200 Hertz. Okay, now let me play back for you. And you can see that the automation will start ticking. You can hear the difference, right? So that is the power of automation. So why do I do this? So that I don't compete with the bass. So the bass frequency is somewhere around 100 and below. So if I don't want to compete with it, I can start around 100. So let me just play it back for you to have a listen. So this is before the chorus, and let me activate the bass as well. So it actually gives a little bit more space for the bass. Okay, so this is 3 very simple use case for you to use the automation for the volume automations, for the panning, or for a certain effects that you are trying to automate. In this case, I use the low cut for the piano. Okay, now same thing goes to the vocals as well. The vocals, you can use the volume to control any sudden peak, because we don't want to use that to control automatically by your compressor, because your compressor will have an issue if the volume changes is too drastic. So if your volume changes is too drastic, I will usually use the volume automations to tone down the initial peak, then afterwards the compressor will do the job. Okay, so I hope you learned something, and I will see you next time, and take care. Bye bye.